Yo, what's going on, guys? Rhys here from More Than Lifting with the More Than Lifting podcast. I'm a personal trainer from the UK and a gymnast and overall bodyweight enthusiast, I guess, handstand fanatic. In the podcast, we talk about loads of different stuff about bodyweight training, calisthenics, and gymnastics strength work. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the Foundation Triset, which is the template of all of your strength training. Okay, I'm going to explain what I mean by that as we go in, but yeah, let's just get straight in. So, the Foundation Triset. Last week in the last episode, I talked you through the beginner's tricep. Yeah, the 3 exercises you can do if you can't do pull-ups. Well, now we've got past that level, let's talk about what you do if you can do pull-ups, okay? And this is the Foundation Triset. And what we do is very, very similar to the beginner's tricep, and we pair up your push and your pull movements at the same level and do some core work as well. Okay, so pull-ups, obviously we'll start with them, and then the second exercise is dips, and then the third one is hanging leg raises. Okay, so pull-ups, obviously pull exercise and a very powerful one, and whenever you're doing these, it's very important to keep your shoulders working. Okay, so you should always square your shoulders off, activate your shoulders and your scapula before you pull up to the bar and afterwards. Okay, and that might just be me nitpicking, but it is actually really important. It helps with your mobility and with your shoulder strength. And yeah, so always do that. Dips, everyone kind of knows what dips are, I guess. You just get your parallel bars and you're pushing out. And the reason we do it in that order is because pull-ups tend to be more difficult for people than dips are. So we always lead with the hardest. So pull-ups will go first, and then we'll do the dips to kind of pair it up, and then finish with the hanging leg raises with your core work. And hanging leg raises are really difficult, and they do take a lot of training, which is why we do the tuck raises for the beginner's tricep, because that helps you build the initial bit of shoulder strength and kind of wrist strength and core strength and coordination to be able to pull out a hanging leg raise in the first place, because it is quite a confusing exercise if you're not used to that hanging shoulder press type motion where you're kind of forcing your hands with your arms straight, you're pushing your hands down to your hips from over your head, so you kind of do that big kind of oscillating movement with your shoulders, and it's very difficult to do that if you've never done it before. So we always start with the tuck raises, because from tuck to straight leg or pike kind of position, you obviously increasing the lever quite a lot, so it increases the difficulty of the exercise. So the tuck raise is a direct progression to a leg raise. It's literally the step before. So that's the next one. And I say hanging because rather than supported, the difference between the two is hanging is obviously hanging from your pull-up bar, but supported is on the dipping bars. And I encourage people to do hanging leg raises rather than supporting leg raises, because it takes more shoulder strength, it takes more wrist strength and endurance for the both of them as well, plus the added effect of the scapular engagement at the reps. And it kind of takes more stability as well. It's easier just to end up swinging around than it is when you're doing them supported, because you can kind of just squeeze everything and brace. But hanging, it's not so easy to do that. So you get the added bonus of like learning that stability under the bar. So that is the reasons for those exercises. So pull-ups first, they're more difficult than dips. It's literally that simple. That's why we do them that way around. Dip second, because you're in that supported position on the P-bars, it kind of gives you that little rest with your wrists as well, and then you take on the hanging leg raises last, which are going to absolutely just destroy your wrists and your shoulders and your core. And careful, because they might give you cramp in your quads as well. I usually get that, especially new clients as well get that, because they're not used to straightening and pointing their toes, and it kind of it forces their quads, and then when their hip flexors come in, it kind of cramps up a little bit. So always stretch out your hip flexors and your quads before you do your leg raises too. Yeah, so that is it really. That is the tricep. The way this kind of fits into a strength training template is that this is the main, or the kind of highest level of basic movements, your pulls and your dips. Afterwards, it's hard to get a different different pull exercises or different push exercises that are harder than your entire body weight, because that is literally what body weight training is, using your body weight. So going forward, we start introducing different variations of these exercises, and because you always want to pair these together, becomes the perfect little template for your training. So as you get into this and you kind of hit this level, which is the foundation for more advanced, the benchmark, sorry, for more advanced skill training, like levers and German hang and all kinds of planches and stuff like that, you need to be at this level before you start. So when you get to this level, then moving forward, when you want to do strength training as opposed to specific skill training, what do? If you've hit that level already, how do you progress? So going forward, you introduce these different variations. So you may have like archer variations of exercises, or typewriters, or okay, so that doesn't really work for dips, like typewriter dip, but it kind of does but that's more advanced. But you can do like close grip pull-ups or wide grip pull-ups in your tricep, and then you can mix that with single bar dips or your regular kind of parallel dips, or you have that flexibility to work in those variations. What I would always say though is, if you're doing a simple variation like a grip change, it doesn't matter so much how you kind of match these exercises up. But if you're doing more of an advanced set, so say you're doing archer pull-ups, which are quite a lot more technical than regular pull-ups, I'd recommend you do a more advanced dip to match. So you might do Russian dips with them, or Korean dips, or something else that will challenge you. Because if you're at that level, you need to be challenging yourself every set. So if you can already do dips, just doing your archer pulls, which are very technical and very kind of they take a lot of strength, you know what I mean? Archer pull-ups are hard. So if you're just doing them with regular dips, like, you're not really matching up and creating this balance, which always needs to be a focus of your training, this balance. Otherwise you end up with problems. Okay, you end up with injuries or postural problems, which you literally don't need to have. So what's the point in training into them? So always mix up your variations with other variations rather than just a standard exercise. So yeah, so if you're doing something more technical like your archer pull-ups, mix it with like Russian dips or something like that. You can find out about all these on the site. Don't just be like, oh, what's a Russian dip? Or just search it on YouTube. There are thousands of videos that probably show you Russian dips. Or check out the Instagram page at More Than Lifting, where there's loads of examples of these kind of exercises. Yeah, so that's it. That is the Foundation Triset. Okay, your pulls, your dips, and your hanging leg raises. Remember that this is going to become that go-to strength formula, your template for your strength training, whether it's more advanced variations or simple grip variations of exercises, just to mix up your training. If you need to do a strength set, like boom, that is what you do. You do your pulls, your dips, and then some crazy core exercise like a hanging leg raise. All right. So that is it for today. That's it for this episode of the podcast. If you want to find out more, you can download the free Bodyweight Foundation workout, which has this tricep and the tricep from the last episode, the beginner tricep, and another couple of exercises mixed in for a complete total body workout. In the download, you get a full exercise walkthrough, you get a warm-up walkthrough, and a total explanation of how this all works and why we do it the way we do. Okay, so it's all in there. Go to morethanlifting.com/foundation to get that. And yeah, otherwise, I'll catch you in the next episode. All right. Thanks for listening. If you want to hear more, you want to find out more from me, go to morethanlifting.com. And yeah, like, subscribe, share it with anyone you may think will get some value from it. All right. Thanks for listening once again, and I'll catch you in the next episode in a couple of days.